Hi, friend. Welcome back to the Grace-Filled Mom podcast, a place where we remind each other that motherhood was never meant to be carried perfectly, just faithfully with a whole lot of grace. I am really glad you're here today. This episode feels a little more like a conversation than anything else. Like if we were sitting down together and I could just share with you what's been on my heart. Because lately, I have found myself reflecting, not just on motherhood in general, but on my own motherhood, what it's actually looked like, what surprised me, what stretched me, and honestly, what I'm still learning. And if I could sit across from you right now, no outline, no pressure, just talking as one mom to another, this is what I would say. One thing I didn't expect is how often motherhood would make me question myself, not in big dramatic ways, but in small, quiet moments where I would think, was that the right response? Should I have handled that differently? Am I doing enough? And I used to think that eventually I would get to a place where that feeling went away, that I would feel more sure of myself, more confident. But what I've come to realize is those questions usually come from a place of caring, from being invested, from loving your kids deeply and wanting to do this well. Another thing that caught me off guard is how constant motherhood feels. Not in a negative way, just in a way no one really prepares you for. It's not something you step in and out of. It's always there in your thoughts, in your decisions, in the way you carry your kids with you, even when they're not with you. It doesn't matter how old they are. You can be sitting still and your mind is still going, thinking about something they said, something they're walking through, something you hope you handled the right way. And I don't think I realized how much of motherhood happens internally like that, not just in what we do, but in what we carry. And I'm still learning this, that weight you feel sometimes. That's what it looks like to care this much. I've also learned that I don't get it right all the time. There have been moments, still to this day, I have had moments where I wish I could go back and redo. Times I was distracted, times I was too quick to respond. That's a good one for me. Times I missed what was really going on underneath the surface. That one I can't say enough about. There are certain kids, and all of our kids are different, but there are some that anytime they may be acting differently than normal, you may want to try to figure out what's going on beneath the surface that's making them feel that way. Because chances are something has happened at school, something has happened in their friend group, something has happened in a text, at a practice, something has been said, some kind of event has taken place, they got left out of something. There's something underlying there. Sometimes I've missed that and they may snap at me. They may do something that is uncharacteristic, maybe even disrespectful, and I'm wanting to bite right back at them. That's my personality. But I need to realize what is going on under the surface that may be causing this. My husband is better at that than me. He can usually tell, no, I think something else is going on and this is what is making them do this. So be aware of that, because that can really affect how you parent and how you handle a situation and how you respond in a situation, so that you don't hurt feelings later, even though your feelings may have been hurt from something that they did, not necessarily intentionally, but just because they're hurt too. Also, what I've come to see is these moments, they don't define your motherhood. They're just part of it. There's something powerful about going back and saying, I'm sorry. I should have handled that differently. Let me try again. And I think sometimes those moments matter just as much as the ones where we get it right, because we're humbling ourselves in front of our children and they're seeing that mom isn't perfect. Mom messes up just like I do. And mom makes up for that. She takes responsibility for that. And maybe one of the biggest shifts for me has been realizing where God is in all of this. Because I used to think I needed to find time outside of everything else to really connect with Him, that it had to look a certain way to count. But my life didn't always slow down enough for that. And we've talked about that in some other episodes. What I've come to understand is God was never waiting on the other side of my schedule. He was already in the middle of it, no matter what I had going on. If it was in the car, if it was in conversations, in the moments where I didn't know what to say, in the quick prayers that didn't sound polished at all. And I'm still learning to recognize Him there. There's a verse that has meant a lot to me. It's Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. I will strengthen you and help you. And it continues on. That's the main gist of it. And I just think sometimes we read that, but we don't always slow down enough to take it in. It means we're not doing this alone, even on the days it feels like we are. And I want to say this too, because over the past few months, actually up to a year, walking through Bible study with so many of you, I've had the chance to hear what you're really carrying, not just the surface things, but the real struggles. I've heard moms say they feel like they're not doing enough, trying to balance work and kids, trying to keep up with everything at home, trying to be present, but feeling pulled in too many different directions. I've seen how hard it is to keep peace in your home when emotions are high, schedules are full, and everyone is tired. I've heard the tension that can come from extended family, the stress it can put on your marriage, and how important it is, but also how hard it is for you and your husband to stay united in parenting. I've seen how much you long for real friendships, and that's me included, not just surface level conversations, but the kind where you can be honest and not feel alone in motherhood. You feel like someone is there and has your back and knows what you're going through. And I've watched so many of you carry quiet guilt about the house not being perfect, or the laundry not being caught up, or you feel like you should be doing more. You should be at home if you're working. You should be working if you're home. It just never ends. Here's what I want you to hear from someone who has walked through this too. You cannot do everything, and you are never meant to. There will always, always be more for you to do, more that you could do, more that you could say yes to, more you could try to keep up with. But sometimes the most important thing you can do is step back and ask, what is actually giving life to my family right now? What is quietly draining it? What is robbing you of your joy? Is it overcommitting? That was one that I had. Trying to meet expectations no one asked you to carry. saying yes to things that are pulling you away from what matters most. And maybe there are some things you don't need to hold on to right now. Maybe there are things you can step back from, things you can say no to, things you can delegate, not because you're giving up, but because you're choosing what matters most. Because your kids don't need a perfect house. They need you. They need your presence. They need your attention. They need your peace. And your marriage matters too. That connection, that unity, that foundation you're building together, that affects everything in your home. And you don't have to do motherhood alone. You were never meant to. Those friendships you're building, those conversations where you can be honest, those moments where someone says, "Me too," they matter more than you realize. So if you've been feeling stretched thin or like you're not doing enough, I want you to hear this clearly. You don't have to carry it all. You get to choose what stays. You get to choose what matters most. And sometimes choosing well means letting something go. Over the next little while, I'm going to be working on something I'm really excited about, and I'll still be checking in here along the way. It may not look like every week for a season, but this space isn't going anywhere, and neither am I. I'll be right here continuing to share encouragement when you need it most. But until then, I hope you give yourself a little more grace. I hope you slow down when you can. And I hope you remember God is right there in the middle of it all. I'm really grateful you're here. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. And I'll talk to you again soon.